technology store. Oh yeah, Alan Ng, watch him chop up a flare. Movie and TV show reviews what you need. Film threads on fire, we're planting the seeds. Film thread, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the deal. Turn the phone, it's the place to be. Movie lovers gather round. 1, 2, 3. From blockbusters to indie gold. Oh yeah, Chris and Alan break the mold. Pop your corn, turn down the lights. Get ready to groove through movie nights. Film thread, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the deal. Turn the phone, it's the place to be. Movie lovers gather round.
Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Today on the show, the new Superman trailer has dropped. Ironheart is here. Well, it's coming. Lots of movie news, plus an interview with the filmmakers behind Karen Unleashed and the director of the Darkside of Society. Yes, 2 interviews at the end of the show. Lots of movie news. Alan Ng has seen Andor, the series finale, and he will give us his thoughts. Plus your comments, questions, concerns. And I don't know, it's going to loop this. Yeah, let's go. Come on, let's start the show. Let's go.
No laundry is getting done. No tiki-washi, Calgon, ancient Chinese secret, huh?
Let's go.
I'm really busy at the moment with Dr. Doom, but I'll say it, Alan.
He's busy with
our
Dr.
openers
Doom.
Our openers are getting weirder and weirder. All right.
I don't know. I like to have fun. I like to have fun.
You're the
with
Fred
our opener. What'd you say, Alan?
Norris of videos. Fred
there you
Norris
go.
of videos. No.
Yeah, I.
Are you looking for one right now? Is that the deal?
You are like watching an old school Godzilla movie. Your lips don't match what you're saying.
No, that's weird. You want me to go out and come back in?
Yeah, you can do that for a sec, really quick. But let me see who's here in the comments. We've got David B. I'll get to those comments about that in a second. Bet Chris has had 3 cups of coffee and wants a 4th. Suns and Shadows. I had a 4th. So
Okay, Hans, how's it now? Am I in the guts of the movie?
You sound great, but
Okay.
all these comments are about Superman. I'll save them. Lord Thoth, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, sign up as a member, join us on Discord. Alan, you got it. Join us as a member. Join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Go to shop.filmthread.com. That's not. Thanks. I'll control it. I'll control it. Something's fucked up with your computer or StreamYard.
Yeah, I know. When I come back in, everything resets, so I have to kind of reset it when I get back on. But support us and buy something at shop.filmthread.com.
Hey, thanks, Alan. That's great.
Look at that Camp Film Threat shirt. Boy, I got to get myself one of those.
I am getting one. I cannot wait. I like it. I like the one with the VHS tape. Why can't that be on the tank version? Look at that beige. Beige is one of the colors. Washed denim. There you go. These are for a limited time. It's our summer collection, and then it's gone. So get the Island Reef or Chambry, whatever that is. Ivory. Isn't that just white? No, ivory is ivory. There you go. All right. Get one of your Camp Film Threat shirts. Get a pint glass or a mug, whatever. Cool. I love our merch is on point. I've got good news for you, Alan. Wicked returns to theaters. That's right. for a limited, it's one day only. I believe it's Wednesday, June the 4th. Wicked will be in theaters briefly to give a for those who hadn't seen it, but then you can get it's a one night only. It returns, and you'll get a preview of the sequel, Wicked for Good, the sequel and conclusion. Are you getting tickets for this?
I will probably be getting tickets for it. My wife wants to see it again, definitely.
Well, I'll tell you what's happening is it's one showing only on that Wednesday, and it's at 3 p.m. So on that day, since I knew you would say that, we will end the show early. We'll do the show from noon to 2, so you and your lovely wife can go see Wicked again. Because I checked the times, and it's only at 3 o'clock.
Okay,
theaters.
So you don't need to do that because my theater is only 10 minutes away.
Alan, to accommodate you and your wife, I
just
will
want to
do
end
that.
early.
I will do that for you. Yeah, I do. From noon to 2.
I mean, you could do it at 2:30 for crying out loud. I mean, we're just getting in the car, drive 10 minutes, and
You
we're
will
at the
do
theater.
it from noon to 2. I want you to get a good seat. I want you to go there.
Well, I mean, I pre-ordered the seats. I don't know why you need to do this.
I don't want you to be late. We will end the show on that day at 2 o'clock.
I mean, at worst, I'm going to miss the trailers.
Yes. There you are. So, all right. Let's get right to it and not beat around the bush. Other YouTube channels have done it. It's our turn.
Yes.
The new Superman trailer is here. We will have to clip this out. If you're watching it live, you
Warner
can
Brothers.
watch it with us. I may pause, but not for long. Alan has not seen the trailer yet. Is that right, Alan?
That is correct.
So let's take a look, and we will react on the other side. Here it is. I'm bringing it up here from James Gunn's X account. Let me pause it. I'll go full screen. We will watch it with you, and Alan will react as he has not seen it. Yes. You excited?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Because my understanding is this better knock my socks off.
Do you have socks on?
Yeah, well, not in a moment. Not in 3 minutes.
All right, let's watch the trailer. I may or may not pause in a limited sense, but let's watch it together. Here we go, Alan.
Basically, C-level DC characters. I know DC fans are going to hate me for this, but that's the reality. Not the. I would say what 30% of the people who are going to watch this movie know something about the DC universe enough to get these ancillary characters.
But I wonder if the DC universe that James is bringing to the screen, that's more one that hardcore comic fans know, but normies will be turned off by.
Or I mean, if you introduce them right, I guess, or just, but yeah, I don't want to have to go through issue after hundreds of issues of comic books just to understand who they are or why they're important.
It's not a bad trailer.
No,
honestly, I think it's the best marketing for the movie so far, but I wonder if it will be enough. And I fear that it feels more like a TV show. We're being dropped in the middle of season 2 of a TV show I never watched. And this is what we got. Anyways, final thoughts. I'll go to comments.
Okay, so in the end, am I excited about this movie? I'm leaning toward being more excited about this movie. But I kind of, you kind of wish you could just cast everything you've seen aside and just base it off this one trailer versus all the nonsense we've gotten since then, since the first trailer came out. I mean, do you think you'd be more excited had you just seen this and not everything else?
I'm not sure. I think all the marketing for Superman has been off. it's been all on the shoulders of Gunn, which I think is a mistake. I think he's an aspect, not the focus. Now the focus, we get more of a story. Another story about a superhero who is being shunned by society and has to be accountable for his actions. And we have seen that in Spider-Man. We've seen it in other Superman movies. So
I mean, trailers should inspire you to want to see this movie. If a trailer, especially this movie, and you know, they just kind of failed. And I don't know if it's the movie's fault or if it's the marketing department's fault.
Let's go to comments.
Jeremiah Hembry, a member for 13 months. I feel like Superman is going to make more money than Fantastic Four. Am I wrong?
I think it has a good chance because people are over Marvel and they're looking for something new. And I think that will be the battle because they're opening 2 weeks apart from each other. Crypto you have a problem with crypto, Alan?
No, I have no problem with crypto. But I'll say this: more people are familiar with Superman than they are with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. More comments here. Thank you for being a member.
The Garth Knight returns. We're 13 years post Man of Steel. We've been deluged with comic book films since. The glow is kind of diminishing.
Bingo.
David B. Allen. Nobody knew about Iron Man. He was not well known, and he did okay.
I think people knew Iron Man, but he was not an A-list Marvel hero.
I don't think people knew his backstory, but I think the movie did a great job of telling his story and establishing the character. And I think Iron Man benefited from word of mouth for its overall success versus excitement going into the movie in the first place.
Yeah.
Darth Yeager, saw it earlier. My socks remain on my feet.
What about your socks, Alan?
Yes, my socks are still there.
Oh, see, it did not knock your socks off.
No. D. Goodhart, it's a big if for Gunn to pull this off, but we'll see. I'm more confident in Gunn than any other director. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
ADL's 24. That Superman trailer was less appealing than drinking a glass of sewer water. I don't think it was that bad.
I don't think it was that bad.
Patrick Lemire, the music is a little better. At least it's not that Top Gun sounding guitar. Still sounds a bit thin. Gunn is making Empire Strikes Back before he made A New Hope. Dumb plan. Jury's out on that one for me.
Okay, let's switch gears. Before we watch the Ironheart trailer, Ryan Coogler has thoughts on Ironheart. Let's see what he has to say. And then we will watch the Ironheart trailer. So here's Ryan Coogler. Obviously, Sinners, a huge hit. The Sinners merch has just hit Hot Topic stores, and he is an EP, executive producer on the Ironheart series. Let's see what he has to say.
I got into Marvel as a kid, going to comic book shops. I was really big on X-Men and all of the offshoots, like X-Factor and Wolverine. When Ironheart came out, I remember the buzz around the industry. I was really excited. In 2016, Brian Michael Bendis, a really famous creative in the comic book world, created a character, Riri Williams. A lot of people think that she's a successor to the Iron Man legacy. But in the comic book, Riri and Tony had a friendship. He was kind of advising her, and eventually she got her own identity as Ironheart. It was really exciting for me bringing that character into the MCU and Wakanda Forever.
The story of Ironheart is not a story about the mantle of Iron Man getting passed. If anything, it's the opposite.
It's really about...
Well, then why is she called Ironheart? I think it's the
She has a
mantle.
suit of iron.
It's the man, and that's. I just don't think mantles work. Honestly, they don't work for certain characters. So, it works for maybe like well, no, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an example, but it's not a correct example. I don't know.
But maybe did I miss it? Was Ironheart a great series from Brian Michael Bendis?
It was canceled. It was canceled. It did
So
not.
so let's base a TV show off of it. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Her proving herself and achieving her own legacy.
White lady producer. That explains a lot. Did you see that?
Yeah.
This woman right here, Zoe Nagelhout, executive producer, huge comic fan. She's why there's like hip hop music in this, because Black characters, hip hop. Let's go.
Yep.
Herself, and
I will say the suit looks better in the series than it did in Wakanda Forever. I'm looking for positives.
Okay.
Finding very little. Okay, here we go.
achieving her own legacy.
I'm very excited to get a heavy-hitting introduction.
It was really great to have Ryan as an executive producer. He really helped with the storytelling of Ironheart. The comic books and Wakanda Forever did a really great job of laying a backstory for Riri and her origin story. In our series, we're telling the story of what happens the days after Wakanda in the formative years of the superhero.
What's cool about her is she's a bit disruptive.
So this takes place after Wakanda Forever. Oh, look, it's white lady again.
Yeah.
It's what's cool about her is she's a.
Why are you bringing race into it? Okay.
Okay, I will not.
Cool about her is she's a bit disruptive.
You want me to be small, but I refuse.
Which really sets her apart from our show.
You might be a hero after all.
I love how this story takes Riri on a totally new journey. I want to build something undeniable, something iconic.
Riri, I see you, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
I'm very excited about Ironheart. I'm honored to have the opportunity to be delivering these stories that people love so much.
Let's get to work.
All right, Alan, what do you think?
I'm just saying that I know it's not popular to say this, but white people have done amazing things, and I would not denigrate a person for their lack of melanin. Yeah, I mean, again, I mentioned before, we're basing an entire series on the comic book series that didn't do well, just because someone had made it at one point, and therefore it's worthy of getting a TV show. Also, knowing Marvel, is she going to have some kind of a character arc, or is she just going to be some kind of badass girl? And then also, if you surrounding yourself with people who are well versed in engineering, computer science, and basic STEM skills, why is not one of your friends Asian?
Yeah, there's even an Asian in the new Superman trailer.
I know, and they're probably a computer programmer, or a restaurant owner, or a laundry dry cleaner.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I mean, it goes back to what they did in the movies. That it comes back to here. It's just we're taking characters that nobody read. I read Shang-Chi in the 70s when it was Shang-Chi, and I could care less if a movie was made about that. It's this wokeness, this idea that we have to create characters of full diversity rather than focus on a story, which is why these people get the instruction of don't read the comic books or don't be a fan of comic books. No, dude, just make her a girl boss who's badass and is going to outdo Tony Storm at some point on her own terms.
Did you say Tony Storm?
Tony Storm, yes, from AEW.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Thought you mispronounced Tony Stark. Sorry, man.
Tony Stark, I meant to say. Yeah.
It's all good, man. Let's get to the trailer.
I know. What did you think? Come on. You talked about on Gary's show, I guess.
I'm gonna get to it. Here we have the trailer. You ready?
Oh, I thought that was the trailer. All right, let's
no, that's just the. Here we go.
Okay.
Here is the actual trailer for the show.
Okay.
Hello?
Carrell.
3 minutes, the air in this elevator will no longer be breathable.
Oh, what is this?
Your interview. You'll suffocate and die unless you break into the device on the floor, where you'll find a gas mask. Good luck.
Screw this.
I heard Riri Williams was a genius. So, you in or out? Riri, I see you. I see you're fed up, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
You are not the first genius at MIT.
How come you're not working at one of those fancy tech firms?
After my internship abroad, I want to build something undeniable. Something
important.
Iconic.
It's a brand new
I can give you the tools to help you carry out your vision. But anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done. What will you do, Riri?
You've bitten off a hell of a lot more than you can chew.
I could chew a lot.
You know nothing about this man.
You're gonna end up dead or in jail.
This is so much bigger than that.
This is wild. A shady bunker.
My bunker's not shady. Would a shady bunker have that on the wall?
It's literally above a crate of self-guided missiles.
I'm returning those.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Say that white dude at the end, that's the guy who played Han Solo. Aiden Eidenhardt.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him that.
Yeah, well, I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alden Ehrenreich.
What can you tell me about Riri from that trailer?
Well, finally, Marvel has decided they're going to tell the groundbreaking story of a young woman discovering who she is.
She's great. That's what she'll discover. She's
Yeah.
awesome. I guarantee she will not fail. Everything will come easy for her. And I don't know who she is. I feel like we go back to the example of the first Iron Man, and I think that's appropriate here, since this is the mantle that's being passed.
Mhm.
You knew a lot about him. He was a playboy, kind of an a-hole, a narcissist.
He was an arms dealer in a way, corporate
An arms dealer that had to come to terms with what his company had done to the world, and it changed him. He'd also been humiliated, thrown in a cave, and came up with this costume basically to escape, which quickly fell apart. It didn't last long, but it was enough to give him the kernel of the idea, like maybe this could be something that works. And you learned a lot about him through that story. I don't know anything about her, the legacy of her family. Why is she so smart? We didn't get it from the trailer. I'm going to assume the series does that. I expect that everything will come easy and you kind of know what's going to happen based on the identities of the characters.
Yeah, we didn't even get that in Black Panther. You know,
Right,
she was just a smart girl.
But I will say this, from someone I know within Marvel, I have been told that this is the worst thing Marvel has ever produced. And it makes Echo look like LA Confidential. That is what I am told. This is from someone who is there. And there are 6 episodes, 3 are being dumped on day 1, and then they will roll out the other 3, I guess, week to week. so it will end just as Fantastic Four hits theaters. It premieres June 24th on Disney Plus. Alan, what do you think? I mean, it doesn't matter. I think you can take an obscure character, you can make them good. And they are really pushing. Boy, are they excited that Sinners is a hit for Ryan Coogler, because they are going to use him to push this show.
Yeah. One of the trademarks of Marvel Comics is that all their heroes have a tragic backstory.
Yeah.
I mean, every single one of them. The X-Men, every single one of them had, although they pretty much had the same tragic backstory, varied and different enough for you to like them and embrace them and find your own favorite character out of them. Spider-Man, tragic story, Uncle Ben dying.
Right.
We can just go down that list. This is just a girl who exists, who happens to be smart, and people are coming after her. You need that tragic backstory if we are to ever connect with this character in the slightest. And that trailer certainly didn't tip that off, to say that, here's a broken person who, when she created the Iron Man suit or the Ironheart suit, she became this person, and how it fundamentally changed her, and how the villains tap into her weaknesses of her past, and then because it's not about the superheroes, it's about the flaws and the weaknesses of these characters that the villains tap into. And we just we just keep saying this over and over about every single thing Marvel has been putting out lately.
Well, the legacy Marvel characters were created by older men who'd gone to war. They served in World War II. Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, who created
events like that, tend to change you and make you
change you. And I feel like the generation writing Ironheart went to escape rooms for fun and decided to work that into the opening scene of this trailer. It's an escape room, right? She gets out of the elevator. It's and I just feel like I want to know who she is, that because the suit, anyone could wear the suit. What makes her a hero? I still don't know from that trailer.
Yeah.
But
I mean, she should be a hero outside the suit.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm also told there are other characters in this that'll probably make people cringe.
Well, I don't know what they did to Anthony Ramos's hair, but
why does he have that hair?
He's not a good-looking man in this movie.
Yeah, that's not, and he's been good in other things. So there you go. Well, this has been sitting on a shelf for a long time. They're dumping it right before Fantastic Four. 3 episodes. So they're showing half the season on day 1, and the other episodes will follow suit. I don't think this will move the needle. And we will watch it and tell you our thoughts when we see the series. We'll get to your comments in a second. Final thoughts, Alan.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. I feel this way. I'm not surprised by what I saw. Disney's gonna Disney. Let's go.
All right, let's go to your super chats here.
From T'Challa for 1999, Wakanda Forever. The X-Men comic in 1963. The X-Men comic in 1963, but had faced declining sales for several years before they rebranded with giant-sized X-Men in 1975. If a comic nowadays don't find their audience right away, we have to just give up on the character. Yes.
No, I don't think we have to. I think someone could make Riri Williams. Who is Steve Rogers not in his costume? Who is Tony Stark not in the Iron Man suit? You need to define that first. Who is Peter Parker not in his Spider-Man costume? Who are they? And the problem is we're not getting good now. It could be corrected. A new writer comes along. I believe it. I like the name Riri Williams. Kind of rolls off the tongue, but so that's not bad. It's just you need to define who the hero is, what the heart is. and that has not happened with this.
Yeah, it's
But
interesting
T'Challa
because
has a great backstory in Black Panther. I mean, it evolved, but T'Challa has a great. That's why I think Wakanda Forever was not widely liked. That I mean, I think T'Challa was better in Civil War and Endgame, or excuse me, in
Than
both
Black Panther.
Endgame. Yeah. Rather than the Black Panther movie, he was kind of sidelined, which is fine. But that was Coogler doing world building, which he's very good at.
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting is, let's go to Ms. Marvel. I think Kamala Khan was much more interesting character when she wasn't Ms. Marvel, when she was just Kamala Khan, the teenager.
Right.
There was at least the aspect of her being a teenager was somewhat defined and interesting. They just couldn't manage the superhero aspect of it. And I think it would have been a better Disney Channel show about a Muslim family than it was about a Muslim superhero.
Yeah. More soups?
Yes. Exilus Abode for 5. If you're nothing without the suit, you shouldn't have it. Tony Stark. Tony Storm.
Hey, Mike. Thank you. Member for 33 months, Mexican Iron Man.
Yeah. Wow. Have we been almost doing this for 3 years? For frack's sake, this is stupid, dumb, and a waste of cash. When I see Hollywood spend money on this crap, my sympathy is gone. Let LA become Detroit.
It's on the road.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike, for all your support. You're amazing.
Yes. M for 5. Superhero this, superhero that. I'm more excited for mutated dinosaurs this summer than I am about spandex wearing people. Guys, keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you so much, Em.
Yeah, Jurassic Park actually could become $1 billion movie this year.
I agree.
Pilgrim Media for 2. Is the Ironheart movie a DEI placement movie? Well, it's a TV show. But yes.
It is.
ADL is 24. I never had to see Tony Stark escape from an elevator to know he was a genius, considering he made the OG Iron Man suit in a terrorist cave with a box of scraps.
Yeah.
Portland 182. Ironheart 1 was the 45th most popular comic in the month it launched. Sorry. Where are the TV series based on the 44 popular comics?
I don't know.
On the other. The Introspect M. She's arrogant and smug. Doesn't that make her cool and unique? Oh, no.
I'll be back, Alan. Start from the bottom and keep
Okay.
going. I'll be back quickly.
Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Fun with collecting. Buzzwords. Disruptive. Yeah. Fun with collecting. This pathetic generic bull made by Disney for Disney. All right. So everyone's agreeing with us. Patrick Lemire. Coogler made damn sure Sinners got a clear run before any Ironheart trailer stink could get on it. All right. And then the Sons and Shadows. I like how it feels like he's reading a script. Yeah, I like how just having his name as executive producer means it's from him. Let's see. What else we got? Atomic Lori. Here we go. Mr. D-Man 21. We started from the bottom and now we're here. Yeah. Galaxy Red. It could be a misdirect. He might be both characters. Let's see. Yeah, keep helping me out here. Let's see. Hieronymus. Okay. Riri had a box of adamantium. That's a Text of Fire. We still don't have a MCU Ghost Rider, but we'll get Black Girl, Iron Man knock off. Make it make sense. Yeah. Let's see. Well, we know the answer to that one. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see.
All right, Alan. I've heard enough of your internal monologue. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, let me just scroll down here for a second.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Larry, you're early. We're not starting the interview until in about 25 minutes. So at 2:05 p.m. Pacific time. So we will get to you. We've got news to do. A couple more.
It looks like your camera's working and everything. So
it looks great. So Larry, if you can come back in 25 minutes. All right.
And from Dr. Fauci's Pardon Prison, but for 5, the dialogue is bad, cinematography is weird, costume design is horrible, it's overcrowded, and the score stinks. But hey, Superman might look good. It just looks as bad as all the other stuff. I don't know that it's worse.
I'm willing to believe I've seen plenty of movies that had bad trailers that were great movies. I've seen them. This could be one. And I do think James Gunn's track record is in his favor. He did a Suicide Squad movie that was very good. But we'll see with this. Oh, we've got some news. Marvel news. And let's get to it. Marvel's Studios updated yearly output plan. Let me bring this up. From Culture Crave, Marvel Studios updated yearly output plan. 3 movies max. 1 or 2 live action shows per year. 2 animated shows. Alan, what do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of back to the way it was before. Although the way it was before, it was 2 Marvel movies a year. And 1 or 2. Yeah, I guess it goes back to Iger's comment about quality over quantity. The issue is that they still don't do quality right. And if you're pointing to Thunderbolts as your example of quality, you still don't know how to do quality.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I think they're back to their other than the live action shows on Disney Plus, they're back to what they used to do, 2 or 3 movies a year. That's plenty. I think this is a smart move, and I think it helps them in the long run. It helps them. So, I prefer this.
I mean, 3 movies max. That's what we have been getting. Has there been a year where there was 4 Marvel movies?
Never. No, not that I recall.
Right. And also the success of Marvel movies usually has to do with the quality of the person at the top, meaning the director. We've not had quality directors in anything since in almost anything since Endgame.
If they're outputting something like this, I'm all about it. Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I don't think that's real, but I do want to see that.
I don't know. It looks real.
With Sue Storm's powers, she can make herself invisible. She can make other things invisible. Did you know that?
I thought didn't Jessica Alba's Invisible Girl have to get naked?
Well, initially, possibly, yes. In the beginning, until she learned to harness her abilities.
Oh, and to encompass her clothes. Yeah, but I mean, if this is what we call the backstory we wanted. Sue Storm still trying to figure out how to get that uniform invisible.
Oh God,
that's the character arc I want to see.
Well, I am excited about the popcorn bucket for FF. I saw it at CinemaCon. I want to see it. It's got they have the thing. Hey, more Marvel news. Scarlett Johansson calls out Oscars for snubbing Avengers Endgame. The only Marvel movie to receive a Best Picture nomination was Black Panther. But Scarlett Johansson, this is from, I believe, Variety. Scarlett Johansson calls out Oscars for snubbing Avengers Endgame for Best Picture, says, I miss Marvel co-stars, but won't mess with Black Widow Return. Alan, if you would tell me the crux of the story.
Yeah, so while promoting her directorial debut, Eleanor the Great, and the upcoming role in Jurassic World Rebirth, Scarlett Johansson didn't hold back in a Vanity Fair interview expressing lingering frustrations over Avengers Endgame being overlooked by the Oscars. How did this film not get nominated for an Oscar, she asked, noting the Marvel blockbuster received only a single nod for visual effects. It was an impossible movie that should not have worked, that really worked as a film. And also, it's one of the most successful films of all time. For Johansson, Endgame was especially meaningful as it marked the death of Black Widow, a character she portrayed since 2010. Though she returned for the final solo outing in Black Widow, she feels her Marvel chapter is closed. It would be very hard for me to understand in what capacity returning would make sense for me. For the character I play, she said, what works about the character is that her story is complete, and I don't want to mess with that. Despite her criticisms of the Oscars, Johansson attended the 2025 ceremony as a presenter with Eleanor the Great star June Squibb and walked away with another complaint: the show's length. Why is it so long? She asked, adding, movies are so long. They're too long. Don't you think so? It feels like a chore. Chris?
Well, yes, that's my big complaint. Yeah. I just think I think there was genuine friendship between the people, the actors in the Avengers. All the actors seemed to like each other. And when they did the press tour for Endgame, you could see that Brie Larson did not fit. You remember that?
Yeah.
There's footage of Brie Larson getting snarky and then them going like, what are you talking about? You know, like she clearly did not fit in. But I feel like it's a once in a lifetime thing to be a part of, that Marvel will never reach the heights they did with Infinity War and Endgame. It will not happen. And so now she's in the director's chair in a movie that's playing at Cannes. I mean, you know, she's just, also, these are like, you know, just sort of off the cuff remarks. I think Endgame, you know, at least it could have been in the mix. Maybe. I don't think it's the movie that deserved it. Maybe Infinity War, but the Oscars tends to shy away from genre stuff. I mean, it was Lord of the Rings, the Return of the King finally got it, but you know, what do you think, Alan?
Yeah, you know, when you say she loved the cast she was with, I also think she loved Black Widow, Natasha. You know, the way she talks about her, the idea that the chapter is closed, says she cares about that character and doesn't want to spoil it or ruin it by coming back, unlike other characters who died. And that's something that you know, when you think about it, is not there with the other characters. You think about the main Avengers and the amount of investment they put into their characters, to the point where, you know, they were the character, and you just don't get that sense right now. I mean, does Simu Liu really feel like he's Shang-Chi? You know, he got the role, but I don't think he's embraced it, or I don't think he's really built the character like Scarlett did with Black Widow, like Jeremy did with Hawkeye, Chris Evans with Captain America, and definitely Tony Stark with Robert Downey Jr. with Tony Stark. You know, the time has gone. What made Marvel great in the early phases, it's gone, and I don't know that you can replicate it. And I don't think Fantastic Four is going to replicate that in any way.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go to your comments here.
Albert, not a retro for 5. Request: can you have Goldberg's theme song on standby for when I send my Hail Steph super chats for the Who's Next part?
We can definitely put effort into that, but Alan will forget.
I will forget. I have other things.
Goldberg's theme song? I don't know.
Is that from the TV show?
I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
But thank you, Albert.
M for 10. I can hear the PR interview for Ironheart now. I is Ironheart. Y'all just a bunch of racist haters. Smacking gums while snapping her fingers. Sassy.
Oh my God.
Mod Derp for 2. Tony Storm is superior to all Marvel Tonys. Yes, she is.
Well,
she's also in that Queen of the Ring movie. You should check that out.
Alan, you have thoughts on the series finale of Andor? I saw your tweet. A lot of people quote your tweet responding to Drinker about the last 3 episodes. Tell me your thoughts, Alan.
I don't understand how people really like this series. Again, episodes 7 through 9, great. That's what the show should have been. But this episode, the Lucian centric episode, here's the problem with Andor. This is the problem I had with this season of Andor compared to the first one. It's just hard to follow the damn stories. Again, it picks up when the revolution starts. That's exciting because it's familiar. This is, the revolution. People are getting exterminated. But the wedding. I mean, I guess I hear people talk about the meaning of the wedding. I certainly didn't pick it up, and and the last 3 episodes, just kind of downhill. You have Stellan Skarsgård. You give him an entire episode, and it just kind of fell flat to me. Maybe I'm not getting the subtext. Maybe I'm not getting the greatness of it, but it's just like, wow, that just felt wasted. And then the next 2 episodes were just perfunctory. It's the Revenge of the Sith. Now we just got to get to the ending. To me, all the real action is in that 7 through 9.
7 through 9. I think 10 and 11 were pretty good too, and 12 kind of falls off.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an epilogue. Look, there's Andor season 1 and 2 is over 20 hours long. I have a challenge to someone out there who would like to learn video editing. Here's what you can do. There are episodes that are great. There are episodes where nothing happens. You could edit 3 2-hour movies, a trilogy. Create an Andor trilogy. Don't call it Andor, call it something else, about the formation of the rebellion. In effect, another Star Wars trilogy could be cobbled together from the best action in Andor season 1 and 2. You could take that 20 plus hours and make something that's 6 hours in 3 parts, a trilogy. I'd love to see it because I cannot deny the production value. Amazing. The best Star Wars has ever looked. The geek and tech porn, like the seriousness of the acting and the stakes of what's happening in the galaxy. I would really like to see someone cut together the formation of the rebellion, that trilogy, using everything from season 1 and 2 of Andor, because the first 6 episodes of season 2 was insufferable. And then it got really good. And then did it stick the landing? I don't know. It led us into Rogue One, and I get why people like it now. Still not worth it, in my opinion, overall. But it reached levels of greatness in season 2 I did not expect. So it's a mixed bag. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah, what's funny is if you were to cut the movie, the beginning of the rebellion, all the pieces you need are in Andor. You just gotta cut everything else out.
Yeah.
Also, what I find interesting is that people who like the last 3 episodes of Andor also like Thunderbolts.
Right.
Like I said, look, season 1 had its flaws. I think there were things in that you could have cut out. It's just this one just really got on my nerves for some reason. There's that in episodes 1 through 3, there's the rebels in a cave talking, such bad dialogue, and it's just shot awful. It's just shot like people are reading their lines off a script. It's there because there's so much of Andor season 2. It's so easy to nitpick the things you don't like, and that's Star Wars. I feel bad for Star Wars. I wish Star Wars was good again.
Yeah, but I'm being serious now. Someone cut together like a re-edit. They call it the Phantom Edit. Someone took Star Wars Episode 1, recut it, and made it better. Cut out all the dumb stuff, reduced the screen time of Jar Jar, recut a bunch of things, cut out goofy stuff with Anakin. It was improved by editing. I say you could take Andor season 1 and 2, cut it into 3 2-hour movies, the whole story. Tell one story, keep all the best of the action scenes, and just cut out whole characters that don't matter. Cut out like just nonsense and a lot of melodrama, and just get to the good parts, which is what the movies are. So I don't know. I think it was an interesting experiment for a new way to do Star Wars, and in some ways it succeeded brilliantly, in other ways just failed. So I don't know. But this season made me a fan. I'll probably go back and watch certain episodes back. They were so good.
I'll probably watch 7 through 9 again.
Yeah, 7 through 9. I'll watch that again if I ever subscribe to Disney Plus again.
By the way, from Change Your Ways, I'm sick of these posters with 1 billion people on it. Look at that poster. I mean, is it not true?
Andor Endgame. But yeah, it's a mixed bag, and I think the good did not outweigh the bad for me. The bad still made it like a chore to get through. But Luthen is an amazing character. He and Andor should be the focus, I think. Just focus it on their story. You could cut out whole side characters, cut out their entire storyline, cut the mom out. Seal's mom. She doesn't need to be in it at all. Cut every scene with her. Every single
we get
one.
it. He's harassed by his mother. Got it.
That's a worldly. It just seems it's so bad. So it's embarrassingly bad.
Yeah, and then the idea is that the rebels don't get along. Well, yeah, you did that in season 1.
Yeah,
you're just extending it into season 2. Now they really don't like each other. Now they really don't trust each other. I get it.
Yeah. Anyways, Alan, your final thoughts?
Final thoughts? Yes. Rest in peace, Star Wars. Like, is there anything? Oh, Mandalorian and Grogu. There you go. Looking forward to that.
Let's go to comments.
The Introspect M. Andor is uneven. Some very good parts and some very lame parts. Yes, good story overall, though. I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
No, the elements are there of a really good story. But it didn't need to be over 20 hours. It didn't.
Yeah. Killer Tofu, preach Alan. Out of 2 seasons, Andor had maybe 4 truly good episodes. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry to agree, but I do.
Yeah, in fact, these are the 4 episodes from Carlos Alfredo Lopez. Alan wished it was 6 through 9, 69. And that is true. It is 6 through 9 that are the best. 69. May the force be with you.
That'll get clear.
Yeah. All right. Accident seller. Ing has the attention span of a goldfish. You know what? I'm supposed to watch Andor like I'm doing Bible study or something. I shouldn't have to sit there and analyze every word of dialogue, which is sometimes hard to understand because they're speaking in stupid British accents, really soft. And I'm supposed to. I found myself like going back and forth. What did they say? What did they say? This is my frustration with Andor. Chad Admiral Thrawn for 2. Give us a good Imperial story. Andor blows. Pilgrim Media for 2. Can we admit that Disney has failed and is failure? Yeah. I remember when Disney was great. It wasn't that long ago. Let's see. From Cray Cray in real life, Jar Jar deserves a trilogy. Yes, he does. From Supavash. Oh, Goldberg the Wrestler. That's the theme song. It's the wrestler Goldberg's theme song.
Oh, did you get this one about Mobland? Sorry.
Heartbreak Ridge. Remember, for 9 months. I have no time to waste on Andor slop when I have a grade A awesomeness like Mobland to watch.
Yeah, Mobland is so good. So good. I'm watching it. Oh, did you get this? We get this?
Yeah, I got Cray Crays.
Okay.
All right. Razor Burn. You can skip the first 3 episodes. You can skip the first 5 episodes.
Yeah.
All right. And is that it? I believe that's it.
I think that might be it. Okay. Well, thank you so much. We're going to get, here's one.
Oh, yeah. From Botagonist. Alan, Andor is better with subtitles, no jokes. You're right.
Agreed.
Right.
I watched it with the subtitles and it was great. It was great. So, all right, folks, we have a director here to talk to us. Larry Wade Carrell is here to talk about his new documentary, The Dark Side of Society. Hey, Larry. Good to see you.
How's it going?
No, you're a little early, but that's all good, man. Good to see you. So happy to have you here. We talked about The Dark Side of Society. Alan saw it and was blown away. It made me, you know what I had to do? Let me try to explain a little bit about this movie. Society is a horror film from 1989, directed by Brian Usna. I believe his feature debut. Is that right?
I believe that's correct.
So Society was Brian Usna's feature debut. It featured the crazy special effects of Screaming Mad George. And it's about this high society family and a young teenage boy who feels maybe I don't fit in. Something is weird is happening behind the scenes with my very own family. And when he goes to, he's getting the sense that strange things are afoot among the elites in his neighborhood, which leads to one of the most horrific third acts in horror history. Now, some people dismiss Society as being like, oh, well, the acting is not great or the dialogue's kind of cheesy. But it was one of those movies that was banned for a time and then got a resurgence. And then people saw it and realized the writer, Zeph, wrote under a pseudonym. The screenwriter of the movie, it was co-written. One of the screenwriters, Zeph, wrote under a false name for reasons. And that's what your documentary, The Dark Side of Society, goes into. Sorry, Larry. I'm like taking.
Yeah, no, you need that context. Believe me.
Yeah, the context needs to be there. And look up this movie, Society. And I do want to watch the trailer for the doc. But tell us in your words. Did I get that right?
Mostly, for the most part, yeah. Society back in '89. It's one of the reasons I'm a filmmaker today. You know, me and my buddies would go after school. We check out Society, Brighter Reanimator, you know, Evil Dead. So we really love that stuff. But the documentary, what it's about is my partner Zeffie Daniel. Back in the '80s, he was known as Woody Keith, and he was one of the screenwriters of Society, along with his partner Rick Fry. They wrote Brighter Reanimator. They wrote Silent Night, Deadly Night 4. A lot of classic movies. So when I got the chance to work with Zeph, you know, one of the first things I'm doing is I'm asking all these questions about how cool it was to make Society, Screaming Mad George. And he comes out with this story, man. And, you know, I'm from Melvin, Texas, so I'd never heard anything like that. But he told me this really unbelievable story. And as long as I've known him, the story's never changed, man. It's a pretty crazy story. And I guess long story short, some of Society is based on real life, his real life.
Okay. So Society, you could read into it. I don't want to go too far. That there were Epstein-like things. Now, in Society, the movie Society, it's not what you think. It's something worse. It's something worse that I love the stuff because I watched Society recently. I found it on digital. I found it. And they kind of imply this thing that snails keep coming up, these sort of creepy, like covered in goo snails keep coming up. And what I like in Society is the events are not really explained. They're not aliens, they're creatures that change their form to fit into society. But you could read into it some Epstein-like shenanigans. I'm saying this in the most polite way possible for YouTube.
Yeah.
But so Zeph,
Here, hold on. Let me just interject because
please,
Alan,
I
want to
help
talk
me
about
out
why
here.
I connected with your documentary, because I've never seen Society. People know that that's not exactly my film, but I'm watching your documentary, and this idea that Zeph had basically wrote a fictional screenplay and didn't really realize that that the events that he wrote about actually happened to him. And as he's describing these events, I have to tell you, there's been a person in my life who I've helped for years, who went through exactly what Zeph went through. And it was just like, I'm listening to Zeph's story unfold, and it's like, this is exactly what happened to my friend. And the way he basically, like, recovery process, you guys talk about that. I mean, we're talking about horrendous abuse that had gone on, and the recovery process was like, oh yeah, I remember, and so I'm watching your documentary, looking at my friend's life and the things that we've talked about, and just seeing those connections go all the way through, and to say that, because I think the issue, I think the conceit is that this story is so incredible it couldn't have happened, but it did. And I'm here to say, yeah, Zeph isn't the only one. There are other people who've gone through this, and it's, oh my gosh, the abuse, the mental, the psychological abuse. I'll throw out the dissociative identity disorder. All real and all happened, and that was the part of my friend's life that I had to work through, was the whole DID thing, because that was outright freaky.
Now, Larry, the documentary is out this week. Is that right?
Yeah, it came out the 13th, was yesterday.
Awesome.
And it's available Amazon, Apple, wherever you like to stream your goodies.
Well,
it should be there.
I want to talk about it more. It's the audience doesn't know what we're talking about. Well, they need to see. Let's watch the trailer together, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. But the whole thing, I mean, this is a decades long, from the movie Society, which was controversial, and now there's the real behind the scenes of what inspired this horror movie, which is even more bizarre. And this is Society is considered one of the bizarro horror classics, because there is image. I guarantee if you've not seen Society, you've seen the image of a man whose face is on a butt. He's literally a butt head. You have seen that still. Okay. But this is the movie it comes from. And I knew Screaming Mad George back then. He was crazy. He was in a good way, in all the creative ways.
Yes. Yeah.
But let's watch the trailer together, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go.
Don't get too hot.
Society really, I guess, embodies that basic paranoid archetype. The notion that the whole world, the conventional civilization, society is lying to us.
It is a microscope put onto an elite upper class. A lot of today's horror filmmakers like Gary Aster and Jordan Peele, you could just feel that they must have been watching this film on late night TV when they were growing up.
The upper class, hey, you're a different species from us.
Basic concept of this whole movie is the paranoia.
The rich are truly different.
I wrote the screenplay and didn't know what I wrote. In case you don't know this is real, it's real. It happened.
When Woody Keith wrote the script for Society, he thought he was writing a piece of fiction. It turns out Woody was exorcising demons.
This is an autobiography.
You subconsciously or unsubconsciously wrote Society, not realizing that it was things that happened
Literally.
to you.
Journey back through the rich history of California, and you will find Keith there.
He wanted to please his parents. He wanted everything to be fine. He loved them. It's supposed to be a loving family, and yet some really unloving things happened. Well,
what I saw when I was a child was, there was satanic ritual abuse involving children and adults being groomed for sex. Thought I was going to die.
We're essentially being set up for sacrifice or use as fuel or breeding stock by a privileged, inhuman elite.
Well, in the words of some of these people, like in the words of my own mother, it was like, well, that happens to everybody.
If you've got so much money, so much time to waste, what are you going to do? You're going to sort of like exercise probably the worst taste and the worst sort of extremes that you're ever going to go through.
These people are everywhere. Everyone knows that story is real.
Oh my God, man. Okay. So how did you get in touch with Zeph? How did you guys connect and decide, are you sure you want to make a documentary exposing all this?
Well, first off, we didn't connect with the intention of making this documentary. I'd made a couple of films, on my own as an independent filmmaker, and I actually was pretty fed up thinking about, going to get a job at Walmart and being a door greeter or something, But my wife said, "Hey, these guys are trying to get hold of you. They're hitting you up on your website and they want you to do this film." I said, "What? Who is it?" And she told me it's Mike Mescal and this guy named Zeph Daniel. And I said, I don't really know them. She goes, "You should look at their credits." And now I was looking, and Zeph was Woody Keith. Was his birth name. He was Woody Keith. And I was like, "Oh, this dude wrote, Bride of Reanimator, Society, and Michael had produced." I was like, even if I don't make a film, I want to go have lunch with these guys and get to know them. And so long story short, they hired me to make a movie called Girl Next. And what they said to me is, "Look, we've seen some of your work. We like what you do. And we have our own money. We don't want to answer to anybody. And we don't want to pull any punches. And we think you're the guy." I said, "I'm the guy." And so we went and we did Girl Next. And we had so much fun doing that. We decided to found a company called Crazed House. And we were going to keep making movies that didn't pull any punches and just, try to set the bar really high and have a lot of fun while we're at it. But during the process of making Girl Next and getting to know Zeph, we were on set one day and I was asking him about Brian Usna and how cool was Screaming Mad George. And he just goes off into this story, his life story, and his story about his, growing up, being abused and telling me the parts of society that, I was asking about, that part was based on real life. It was actually him, and how they tried to kill him. And it pretty much blew my mind. And I didn't even really know what to say, man. Like I said, I'm from a small town in Texas. I remember when I got to LA and found out Kevin Spacey was gay, I was like, what? I was pretty naive. But over the years, we continued. We made Girl Next, made The Quantum Devil. And when we got done with The Quantum Devil and we came back from Serbia, our producer, Loris Kirchie, said, we should take that rebate money and we should do Zeph's story. I was like, "Oh, it's a pretty good idea." And they're like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then you're going to direct it. I'm like, "What?" I don't do documentaries. I like to do fiction. I like to rip people's arms out of their sockets and control the narrative. And Zeph is a dear friend, and I really care about him. And I was really concerned. I was like, "Man, this is really personal, deep stuff, and you want to put it out there." And so I kind of talked myself into it, saying, "Okay, we'll do a behind the scenes of Society." And I didn't even really know what I was doing. And long story short, it was really hard. It got really crazy. I was having nightmares. People were getting in fights and stuff, but somehow we came through it all and we pulled the documentary together. And I can see now where it's been really good for Zeph. And I think it's actually helped him process and heal from some of this stuff by being able to get it out there. Because for years and years, people, he said, they just dismissed him as crazy and wouldn't take him seriously. It's a different world today.
I mean, certainly people using fiction to tell a story about their own life and, making up fake details. But who would think that this story would be a fictionalized version of real life? Obviously, the elites are not snails that morph and combine. And what was this term that was used? Shunting. The shunting. What the hell is even that?
I was watching the comments and stuff yesterday as the movie was coming out, and some dude put a comment. He's like, "What? The shunting was real?"
Yes, yes. I mean, it is. The chat's on fire with lots of comments.
Yeah.
We'll get to questions for you from the chat. Alan, anything before we go to comments from people here? People are kind of blown away that this thing came together.
Yeah. Yeah. All I'll say is, like I said, I had a friend who gone through all this, and to find out that they weren't the only one, and that there are others, and that for Zeph to come out like this is, that's the main reason why I'm all over your film, and why I highly recommend it.
Well, it's a heartbreaking story. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
absolutely. Go on. Yeah.
Heartbreaking, and I feel like your documentary is the tip of the iceberg. We know from just current events that this kind of thing is more prevalent than any of us realized, and the fact that it was fictionalized in a horror film from 1989 is just bizarre. And here, only now, it's like, oh, I mean, I don't want to keep bringing up Epstein, but there are
Come on.
connections.
Yeah, he's not coming after you.
No, but there are connections, or similarities. We have
I think
so many questions from the chat. We have over
I'll just say,
2,000 people watching live.
Yeah, I'll just say real quick. It's not that he wrote a fictional. What you bring out in the documentary is he wrote it thinking he was writing fiction, not realizing that he was actually writing about his repressed memories.
Well, that's one of the things that I thought was really interesting, and I wanted to touch on, because as long as I've been acting and doing filmmaking, when I started out, I worked a lot with Michael Biehn, and I was apologizing for being screwed up. He's like, "But dude, everybody in this business is screwed up. It's part of the way of dealing with it." And then you always hear people talk about, write what you know. And the interesting thing, what I found with Zeph, especially from working with him and working on Girl Next, and then the things we've done together and reading, he's written several novels, and he has his own voice for sure in his own style. But where that comes from is how he was brought up and the terrible things that happened to him. And the fact that they drugged him, they sent him to rehabs, all kinds of terrible things. And he was convinced that all that shit was in his head. And then he goes and he's writing the script, and he really felt bad while he was writing the script. Like he would lock it up because he was scared of it. He felt like he was doing something naughty. And so they go out, they're making the movie. He has no clue what's going on. And then he gets this phone call in the casting office, and this lady, she goes, "It's all true. The script, everything, all of it." And then he snapped. Something made him snap, and he realized it, and he freaked out. And then Yuzna came in, was like, "What's going on?" And Zeph was, he's just really upset. He's like, "Look, if this movie's going to upset anybody or something, we'll just shut it all down." And then Zeph snapped out. "Oh, no, let's don't do that." And they moved forward. But that's fascinating to me, because we all pour our own who we are into our art and our writing and our filmmaking, and it's a way for dealing with things. But I really admire Zeph for going through that and doing what he did, and look at him today, man. He's overcome that stuff. He's still writing, he's still making movies, and he's an inspiration to me. And I hope that other people that have gone through similar things will find it inspirational to them too, and say, "Hey, man, I can get up tomorrow. I can do something cool. Let me write my book, make my movie."
We have over 2,000 people watching live here. I want to get to as many questions as I can. I'm not going to be able to get to every question. There's too many, but let's start here. Alan, if you would.
Yeah, ADL is 24. How did Mr. Carrell first become exposed to the film Society before learning the story behind the film? What was it that intrigued him and his friends to see it over and over?
Well, like I said, when I was a kid, man, that's what we did. We'd get out of school, we'd hit the video store, we'd grab a big pizza, and we'd go back to somebody's house. We'd take turns, and it was either Freddy Krueger or Evil Dead, and why not watch them over and over? I mean, yeah, Bruce Campbell and the thing with the hand and all that, it was just so wild. In fact, I even did my first haunted house back then when I was in high school, and I recreated all the scenes from all the movies I love. So I was just fascinated with it. But, had I grown up in California, I probably would have been an FX guy because I was at home putting, pancake make on my face and doing toilet paper and latex Freddy Krueger and peeling my eyebrows off because I didn't know to use a release with the latex. I guess you've never been through that. It's horrifying. It's funny if you get to watch somebody pull their eyebrows off.
Christopher, Moonlight Productions. I've seen Society, and I've talked to people who have told me they escaped Hollywood satanic cults that work in the film industry. I'm very curious to see this doc and see if it tracks. Cheers. From my perspective, yeah, it tracks.
Yeah, from mine too. I've learned way more than I ever wanted to know about Hollywood and behind the scenes.
Just how evil people can be.
Well, there's one thing I want to interject here that it's not in the documentary. Nobody knows, but Zeph is Beverly Hills Society. He grew up out there. His grandfather, helped Walt Disney start Disneyland. He helped the Hilton start the hotel chain. I mean, so Zeph has these wild stories like growing up and playing with Jack Palance's kids and messing around with the drums. And Jack Palance opens the door and says, "Hey, knock that off." And can you imagine? Like that. So he grew up out there, and he has all kinds of stories. And I really admire the fact that he would like go down to the Writers Guild as a kid and just check out scripts and just there and read Milius and read Rocky. So I mean, he's really out of all the people I know who say they're screenwriters, he's probably the only real one that I know.
More questions or comments here.
Yeah, Sons and Shadows. Let's start. Let the shunting begin. You've seen this movie, you know what that means.
Yes.
ADLS24. Do you have any knowledge of the proposed sequel to Society that was talked about over a decade ago?
I do. Actually, Zeph and Brian Usna got together and they wrote a novelization of Society, and then they've been working on Society 2. And then Brian has a version he was working on by himself. And you know how heartbreaking it can be in this industry chasing financing and stuff. Yeah. So it's been on and off again. But somebody wants to help out with the financing. We can all see it pretty quickly.
Yeah, because Hollywood doesn't want to finance it.
Well, I was going to say Society 2 could take place on an island.
Yeah, I mean, it could take place anywhere.
Change of ways. All the things to be outraged over. You bring up kids being used. It's like shouting into the void. No one wants to touch it. It's too hard to believe, but it's an incredibly dark reality. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
AD Ellis, with the current trial of Diddy occurring as we speak, why is there an appetite now within culture to finally tackle the depravity of the elites? Why were those different in the 80s and 90s? I mean, from my perspective, it was... A, you weren't going to be believed if you told your story, and B, there are very powerful people who want to keep that story hidden.
Yeah, it's almost like a currency the way that I understand it back then, and it's been going on a long time. Yeah. And we would hear the worst we would hear all the way down in Alvin, Texas, would be like the casting couch, and kind of a light-handed touch, but you hear it from Zeph. But the thing is, Zeph wasn't the first time I heard that. Like I said, when I went out there and I worked with the Beans on some films and met some people, and I learned all about the ugly truth out there, and Mercury retrograde is real.
All right, Razorburn. Question for Larry: what is your favorite genre of horror? Mine is sci-fi horror, like Alien and The Thing.
You know what I like? I like good movies. Even they don't necessarily have to be horror. They just have to be good. I like to watch something that, like, a few minutes in, I've forgot about my shitty day, and I'm just like on the edge of my seat, and I'm standing up yelling at the TV. Some movies that do that are like Aliens and, like I said, Evil Dead. I mean, it was almost like audience participation with my buddies, So I like really good movies.
Bush and Ryukat, what's worse, Society or The Purge?
It's two different flavors of ice cream to me. You know what I mean? The Purge is an updated, kind of a totally different subject, and then Society is what it is. Yeah. Classic.
It's like looking at the past and looking at the future.
Yeah.
Solomon Thorne, greetings, Sir Larry. Any advice for beginning filmmakers?
Oh yeah. Go out and get on any film set you can, do whatever you can, run coffee or whatever, and just work hard and pay attention and learn, and just don't quit. I mean, that's what I did. I was actually talking with Zeph. I went out to California and worked on a couple of films, and I lived out of my car, and I had a jar of peanut butter to eat for like a week. But I was happy to do it because I was learning, making, and the connections are everything. That's another thing I'll tell you is that it really is who you know sometimes.
JP2RX, this shit is crazy.
Yes.
Suns and Shadows. Any chance for a physical media release?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to do actually kind of like some kind of Blu-ray collector's edition and do some nice stuff, put some extras in it.
And what's your website again? What is it?
It's www.crazedhouse.com.
Nice. Because you can go there to get all the info, right?
Yeah, yes. Yep. And it's a work in progress, but we actually have started our own Crazed House distribution because we got totally screwed over. Like the Film Threats Best Indie Horror of 2024, or one of them, The Quantum Devil, was totally off, and we never got a dime from it. And I was like, oh man, this movie made me cry when I found out we won something. And so we have our own distribution company, and we're handling our own properties and stuff there.
Well, go to crazedhouse.com or look up The Darkside of Society on all the platforms where you can buy or get films on VOD and DVD coming soon, I hope. So
yeah, for sure, Blu-ray on Darkside, for sure. Probably DVD too.
Oh, that's great.
If you really want one, just email me and I'll burn you one.
Well, not now. Let's get it released. I'd rather buy it.
Yeah.
Support.
Oh, I didn't say for free.
Okay, good.
What time's valuable, Mr. Gore?
Well, Larry, thank you so much. This is your film is already on our short list for award this in the documentary category. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, is this about movies making movies? That documentary?
Yeah, it's about that, but also best documentary. I mean, it's fantastic. Larry, thank you so much. Whenever you have a new movie, please come to us. We want to talk to you.
Oh, no, Film Threats our first stop. Every time we have a release, the first thing we do is email you guys and try to get the ball rolling there, because that's where you start at if you're serious. Film Threat.
Larry, congratulations on the documentary. Everybody check it out. The Dark Side of Society. It makes a great pairing with Society. Watch Society, then watch the doc. You will learn a lot. Larry, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys.
Take care. See ya.
Take care.
Now switching gears. I mean, that was awesome.
Well, I was gonna say, I think this is Julian Sands' last movie. If I'm
People brought it up.
It is. Yeah.
So yeah, no, it is. If you're a fan of the movie Society, which I had not watched in years, and watched it yesterday, I was like, I have to talking about the doc. I really wanted to talk about, I want to see Society again, and it holds up. Maybe not so much the acting, but everything about that movie holds up. All right, it's time to switch gears to something that is taking over. That's right. AI. Will it save Hollywood or destroy it? Let's talk to one of the filmmakers behind the trailer that has gone viral, Karen Unleashed. Hello, hey, Mind Wank. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Mind Wank. It's good to be here. Good to see you, Alan and Chris.
Hey, thanks, man.
Wow, this AI is really good. I can't tell that it's a real person. Okay.
Well, look, I have been talking about this stuff for a long time. I think that AI, it's like a tool, like any tool of tech. It can be used for good. It can be used for evil. But what you did, and I've seen a lot of these like Panavision, Flash Gordon 1950s trailer. They're kind of cool as like, okay, that was fine. It was fun, whatever. What you did with Karen Unleashed has got people talking.
Yeah, no, it was such an honor to see it featured on this channel, and yeah, we're sort of bowled over by just the number of people saying this is one of the best things they've seen in years. They wish Hollywood would make it, yeah, it was a 2-month journey of really trying to get outside of the pastiche types of works that tend to go viral. I think so just to introduce myself, like I'm Mindwank, but I am one of 3 co-creators, co-filmmakers within the collective known as AI or Die. And we started we started working together. We've known each other for years in the AI filmmaking space. And then we got together in June of last year and decided to put together a TV show. We've currently made 3 episodes of sort of a 10-minute, almost like Adult Swim from the early 2000s style show. And then we've gotten sidetracked with these like interesting trailers and other little projects along the way. But yeah, no, I completely agree with your take, like AI is a tool. And I also completely agree with James Cameron's take that people pay too much attention to inputs and they should be paying more attention to outputs. As far as like copyright is concerned, it's very easy to sort of remix old things. It's hard to come up with new things. It's a problem Hollywood has been having for a while.
Well, I think for AI to really go mainstream in Hollywood, this is my personal philosophy. I feel like you have to own the data sets you're using for your output. For your input, you've got to own these data sets, whether it's an actor or whatever, then you can remix it, right? And we've seen some fun experiments. What you did is, and we talked about a movie recently that used AI. I don't know if you've heard of this movie, Watch the Skies.
No, I haven't.
It's a Swedish film that was made with Swedish actors in Swedish. A company called Flawless took the movie, had the Swedish actors in an ethical use of AI re-record their own voices in English. And people that are Swedish can also speak English, multi-language, multilingual. And it was the same actors. They redid the mouths, the part of the mouths. It's a plugin in Avid that allows them to redo their mouths. And they speak in English. You cannot tell the difference. I saw the movie in a theater. It's at AMC theaters now. Watch the Skies. And it's amazing. It opens up a whole possibility of localizing movies so that you don't have to do subtitles. There's a lot of people who will never watch a subtitled movie. It will just not. And I think that's a use of AI. I think AI will be used in special effects, obviously.
Yeah, the subtitle one is actually really interesting. I was just having a conversation with my wife about this the other day. Like I don't understand. So I know there are people who will not watch stuff with subtitles. I don't understand people who watch stuff that is dubbed, because it's like, why don't we just bring in all new actors, a completely different set of direction, a completely different sort of internal state of the different characters in the movie, and have them redo all of the acting in the movie. But this is a technical solution where that will no longer be a thing for dubbed in the future. That's awesome.
Let's show the trailer for those who are not familiar. Let's watch it again. It's almost 3 minutes. It's on the AI or Die show X account. Here it is. I'm going to play it.
By the way, I should just say half of the views you got on this came from Chris, because he tells everybody to see this trailer and then he shows it to them.
Well, I just think that there's been a lot of negative about AI, and I think there's a way to use it that will be created. It'll be like they still make 2D animated movies, but they do CG animated movies. I think they will make movies using AI as a tool. You still need humans to make it. Let's just watch it and we will discuss. Here we go.
Hi, you've reached Karen. Please leave a message after the tone.
Karen, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Shut up, Mom.
For Christ's sake, it's out of the question.
You fucking moron.
Didn't you wear that yesterday?
Hey, you sexy lady, come here.
Hi, this didn't fit me. I would like to return it.
I'm sorry, ma'am. We don't accept returns.
Let me talk to your manager.
The manager isn't here right now. He can't talk to you.
People have been stepping on me for too long.
I mean it, goddammit. We deserve refunds.
I'll track him down if it's the last thing I do.
What did I say about giving refunds?
Say hi to Reddit, motherfuckers.
Let me know if you want to start a loyalty card.
Sir, we have a problem.
Looks like motherfuckers saw half price. We have an unsatisfied customer. 俺がやる.
I've been reading a lot about my rights as a citizen lately.
Ma'am, you know anything about an incident with a roller skater?
This is fucking harassment, and I will sue you.
Bravo. That was amazing. Now what, tell us, like, what went into that? You wrote a trailer. It definitely follows cliche, kind of trailer cliches, but did you start with a story? This is a concept, wrote out the dialogue, and like tell us in bullet points the process, and we have a ton of questions for you here. So
yeah, sure. So it was a concept. You know, the idea was Karen, the stereotype of Karen, but it's a humanist take, and she's actually it's sort of like you get on her side, and she's sort of an awesome action figure. And so we watched a ton of action thriller trailers in order to sort of like get that structure in our minds. And then we sat down, and this is the thing. I mean, this is the thing that I don't think people who are outside of the AI filmmaking world, we're now working on some commercial projects and stuff, that it's hard to fit the typical linear start with idea, then write it down, then turn it into a script, then you get people involved, then you shoot it, then you get into post, and you don't really get to go backwards unless you're like Woody Allen or Terrence Malick or something like that. Most of the time, once you're in the next stage, you don't go back. But AI, it's not in sequence, it's in parallel. So we had the idea, and then all three of us started riffing on the idea, started riffing on different prompts, sort of came up with a a prompt that we really liked, and then just experimented with different scenes. I mean, we had a couple of beats in there, but the film came together as like we were going back and reshooting and redoing and swapping characters. And the husband character was the arms dealer was a late 11th hour edition. I mean, lots of things in this switched around as we were making it. It really is a very iterative, almost improvisational process, but it's on the editor side as opposed to in front of the camera.
And then the sound mix is it's a glorious sound mix. People underestimate how critical sound is. Unless you've made a film, sound is as important as image. So how did you
completely
do
agree?
that?
Yeah. So I mean, that was the one part of so all of our previous projects, we've done our own sound mixes, but because we wanted a professional grade trailer level sound mix, like I completely agree with you. Like the sound is so much more critical than people realize. We ended up having a company do the final mix of it. So that's why it's so good. We didn't do it, but we did everything else, and all of the, specific generations, all the sound effects, everything is like all the dialogue. Some of that is straight up generation. Some of that is like my performance as Karen or the different characters. My terrible performance with, which is AI to sound like the character.
Yeah. I have to ask you a question. I've someone about a year and a half ago submitted a full AI movie, and one of the keys of that to tip off its AI is the consistency of character. The character at the beginning of the movie definitely evolved into a different looking character by the end of the movie. And I think what fooled me the most about your trailer is the fact that you were able to get a level of consistency for your characters in scene after scene. Now that I watch it again, I kind of see the differences, but is this still the challenge? Is there a point where you can create a character, plug into AI, and potentially make a feature length film out of it?
Yeah, I think that we will so that's been a consistent problem. The way we did it with this film that I'm particularly proud of is that we did it text to video as opposed to image to video. I think that the tools have advanced since we put this out, and now it's even easier to do it. My guess is that in less than a year, that problem will essentially be solved. I think if you see what some of the most current models are able to do with the most capable hands, it's almost a non-issue, but there are some weirdnesses around the edges. And I expect by, early next year, that's a non-issue anymore. Yeah. That's the thing that people don't realize.
That's scary.
Yeah, no, it is scary. The two things I just, because I know a lot of people hate AI. I think that my response to that is just first and foremost, like, it's happening, guys. Like, there's no way around this. There's no alternative to this. Like, no one is coming in and saving the day. Like, the tools are so useful for people who want to tell stories that once you experiment with them, you want to use them. And now a guy in India who never had access to, a really nice camera or a whole crew can make a whole movie. There's, if he wants to make an American movie, he can do that. If he wants to make a Japanese movie, he can do that. It's incredible. And then also, the tools are as bad as they're going to be. They're just going to get better from here.
It's funny you talk about AI like the nuclear bomb. It's going to happen. Someone's going to invent it. So that's the fun discussion about it.
You're the Oppenheimer of AI. That's what you are. We have so many questions. I have so many questions. I mean, how close are we to I don't know that you can just put in a prompt and get a 2-hour movie. I don't know about that. But you can certainly use AI for money shots in a film. You can't you?
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
Is
yeah, 100%. You can save yourself. I mean, you could probably if you just currently, you could use AI in your money shot, save a ton of money, put in the face of the actor that you're using, VFX some of the weirdnesses that it's currently still doing, upscale using the latest. I mean, there are some cool, really awesome ways that you get such clarity now, even just in the last month or two. And yeah, you could, I guarantee you people will be fooled more than they realize within 6 months. Now everyone thinks they can spot an AI movie because they're but it's as bad as it's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, about that trailer, the reason it fooled me is because I wasn't looking for it.
Yeah, well,
Chris fooled you.
Yes.
Like,
Well, the film, there's a filmmaker who did underground movies for years, Damon Packard, and I subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's done a ton of experiments with AI. His stuff is bizarre. If it's this good now, in a year, it's going to be like you were just saying, in the time you finished it to now, things have gotten have improved. So we're getting close to it. Again, it's not like I mean, sometimes I see movies that are written by people that feel like AI. And what I mean by that is this. I see certain aspects of AI like a randomizer. When you go to play a video game and when you get to that screen that's like, design your character, and you can make the eyebrows this or this, you can have this kind of nose or hairstyle. What I do is I click on the randomizer about 5 times, find a character I like, and move on. Some people sit there forever and will design their character to look like them or whatever. I think AI is something of a randomizer. Am I simplifying it too much?
I think that it is I mean, I totally, yeah, I see what you're saying. I think that there is, I think that each of the tools, I mean, I'm just speaking about AI, I guess, in general now, but I think that there is a way in which you can learn to talk to the machine so that it doesn't just give you totally generic outputs. Like these models that are trained on so many data points, if you just ask it a generic question, you're going to get a generic answer. But if you spend time with it and you sort of learn its intricacies, and each AI model, whether it's video or an LLM like ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever, they all have their own weirdnesses, and you can figure out what those are and kind of get stuff back. Like I just think that at the moment, you sort of asked a question of like, what, we're not at the point where you can push a button and get like a 2-hour movie. In fact, I think we're a long way of being able to get that, because there's so many individual decisions that go into making a film. And I think an AI can only make so many decisions before it just rounds up to the most generic like option. But I think that they're getting able to do more and more decisions in a row based on how you talk to it, to get something more interesting. And I think, it's hard for me to even imagine how an AI would do like a 2-hour thing. And like I said, this took 2 months of work. It was, I mean, people say, oh, it's terrible, it's slop, turn something else on. Some people say that, some people like it, but it took a lot of work to make this slop. So, I mean, I think it'll be a while before an AI is able to make this. Now, whether a while is like a year or 10 years, I don't know. I think every time you try to predict what AI is going to do, it ends up beating that estimate. So I wouldn't bet against the AI too hard, but yeah.
Well, it's like, I don't know if you've heard of the scientist Seth Brundle, but he said that computers are stupid. They only know what you tell them. Well, that's actually a fake scientist from David Cronenberg's The Fly, but Seth, played by Jeff Goldblum. Anyways, but that's what I believe. Computers are dumb. They only know what you tell them. It's only as good as the person that's telling it what to do. So we have over 2,000 people watching live. We have a ton of questions. Can we get to these questions here?
Let's do it.
Yeah, here we go. Alan, if you would.
Yes, from our own Charmin. Mindwank, sorry. How many AI runs did it take before you got a clip you were happy with?
So that's a great question. Some of these took a long time, and some of them you get in a fluke on the first one. It really is. And I think that the film is being built as you're editing. So there is a little bit of sort of an interesting thing about AI filmmaking that's different than something that's very simple in regular filmmaking ends up being extremely hard in AI filmmaking, and vice versa. And so a lot of doing AI filmmaking at present is not imposing my will upon what I want to happen in the scene. It's allowing the AI to sort of like experiment with the prompt that I give it, and then working with what it gives me to tell the story. So maybe they open the door in a weird way, and that sends, oh, well, then we can smash cut to this other thing, which also had that interesting movement. So it's a lot of stuff like that.
But is it a matter of running each iteration over and over again until you're happy with it? Or is it a lot simpler than that?
So, I mean, I think it's a matter of running the pressing generate over and over again until either you get something you like, or you get frustrated and try to think of some other solution to the problem you're trying to solve.
Okay. Matthew Hammond for 2. The House of David Amazon series used Midjourney.
What did you use?
This entire thing was text to video in VO2. I've used all of the softwares. The latest Midjourney is amazing. But this was all Google's VO2 because I thought it had the most sort of trailer cinematic tone to it at the time.
Interesting. D's Weebos for 199. ChatGPT will evolve into Ultron or Skynet.
That's not a question.
We have a lot of comments and questions.
Yes. Yeah, wait till you see a Mission Impossible. Cogito ergo sum. AI is a tool. It balances the field a bit, but the people who will shine most will be the ones who have an artistic eye and can utilize the tools to articulate their vision best. Yeah. Bat Manual, is this an AI written and generated movie?
It is not written except by AI, except for the fact that there is this conversation with the AI that takes place. If you can't get it to give you what you want, you go for something else. So, and in truth, like this wasn't all planned in advance. So like the roller skater scene at the beginning, I don't know where that came from, but one of my co-creators who's a genius just like came up with that, and then that made it into the film. So it's a lot of like everyone contributes their own ideas, and then the AI will give you what it gives you, and you work with that.
ADLs, curse the hairstylist who first created that haircut.
Did you actually?
That was like Kate Gosselin, wasn't it?
Yes.
Did you actually put in Karen haircut?
Well, we described the haircut as a very specific hair. Like her outfit was very careful. Like this character was very sort of meticulously created. Here's the descriptor. It's almost like you're, if you want to summon something from the abyss, you need to use the correct spell. So we used the same spell every time when she was included.
Wow.
Okay. Fun with collecting. I've shown it so many times to people because of Chris and Alan. Yeah. Infinite Horizon. Has CGI ever reached the point where the majority of audience can't tell the difference?
I think that is, I mean, that's not really an AI question, but I can get, there are many things that I think, there are many fake, like snuff films out there that have, like, I think, you can CGI or non-CG, real special effects, like you can fool people, and your tools just have to be good enough. And your resolution has to be low enough.
Yeah, I always say that the best CGI movie is Jurassic Park, the first one.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, Change Your Ways, both impressive and horrible at the same time.
I'll take that compliment.
David B, you could make this inexpensively for real. The idea is what's great. It's not the tools, it's about the idea.
Yeah, see, that's what we see a lot of AI stuff. And again, we've reviewed on the website AI movie. Alan reviewed it. But it's the idea, and the idea for Karen Unleashed is that like Karen as like a John Wick type action movie is a hilarious idea. If Hollywood was smart, they would have made that. There is actually a Karen movie. It's terrible. I've seen it. It's some racist woman who's a neighbor and she's annoying and she's the villain. This is genuinely funny.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie, but yeah, I think in general, like if there's a stereotype that's too stereotyped, it's always interesting to sort of flip it.
Yeah, yeah.
ADL is 24. With your work in AI, has your eyes been trained to see when Hollywood is utilizing it in their projects?
It's an interesting
can you
question.
tell?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't really. I would say that the best AI is indistinguishable from the best like visual effects. Like, I can usually tell when something is made with AI, but sometimes it gets tricky when people swap. Like, there's a shot that's AI, and then next to it is a real shot. Like, you can even I can be like, yeah, I'm not 100% sure if all of that was AI. There were definitely some bits of AI, but yeah.
Yeah, these goddamn YouTube ads I keep watching are all AI. I can tell. It's
hey, so here is your account, AI or Die Show on X. Follow that. What is your next project? Is the idea to make a feature?
Yeah, the idea, we would love to turn this into a feature. I have a very good writer friend. I mean, I guess one other thing to just say is that on the back end, like, it's not like we just woke up one day and started working with AI. Like, all three of us have decades of experience in filmmaking as directors, editors, animators. And so we're using all of that experience just in this new medium. We would love to turn this into a feature. We've had some meetings. Nothing has fully materialized. Right now, we're working on a bunch of commercial work, which maybe will give us enough capital to actually potentially really make this into a movie. But we're also keeping our options open. We have a bunch of ideas. I mean, the beautiful thing about AI is that if you have an idea, it no longer takes years of begging other people to make your movie to make it. You can actually go out there and make your movie. And I think that really that's the perspective that I take, is that this is an empowering tool for people who just don't have the connections. Like the last guest was talking about, like, needing connections and having to work your way up from the bottom. I think if you just train yourself to be good at your craft and you want to make something, you can do it way easier and cheaper with having to convince way few people to get involved using AI. That's my pitch.
Well, thank you, Mindwank, for all of that. Thank you for coming on, and I will continue to tell people about this. When you get a full project and something else, please DM me, or you know how to reach me. I think it's the future. I think you'll be able to use it for effects. I think it will usher in a golden age for indie film. I think that's coming, whether you want to see it happen or not. So, Mindwank, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you look like. But thank you for taking the time to talk to us. AI or Die Show is the X account you can follow. Any final words before we let you go?
No, thank you so much for having me on. It was great talking to you.
Dude, congrats again.
Yeah, congrats.
Can't wait to see what you guys are up to next. Feel free to reach out.
Sounds good. See ya.
Cool. Take care. Bye. That was awesome.
Yeah. If there's one subject that divides our audience, it's AI.
It's AI. Yeah, well, it's divisive topic, including Justine Bateman, who I have great respect for. I think that there needs to be a discussion. We just talked about that movie, Watch the Skies. That is an ethical use of AI. They are localizing movies without subtitles and the same actors to remake the film in English. Like, that could be that is a good use of AI. So I think that there will be other cases where if you own the data set, I think that it's ethical. So there you go. We're going to wrap up. A couple things came in.
Yeah, from Lord Metroid, member for 18 months. I like the Superman trailer. Love channel. Thank you.
So you love the channel more than the trailer.
Right. He liked the trailer. Love the channel.
Love the channel. Thank you, Lord Metroid. And we were going to talk about Mission Impossible today. We have complicated thoughts.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you might want to read this real quick.
Yeah, from Libra All Women. I want to share that I am currently watching the Mission Impossible movie, and I'm truly enjoying them.
They're fun.
Yeah,
we
if
will
you're talking
talk
about the franchise. Yes, enjoy it.
We will discuss Friday.
Yeah, I think it's best to say it's good, not great.
And then Christopher Moonlight.
Okay, and just got back. I missed the whole AI discussion. I'll have to go back and see if there are subjects I can address in a new Film Thread article. Yes.
Yes, you should do an article addressing this, and you could link to the excerpted review from our interview from our interview channel, embed it in your story, Chris. That'd be great. But we got to wrap it up today. We'll be back Friday with early review of Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, along with Final Destination, Bloodlines, which Alan plans to see now.
No.
And no, he'll see it.
No, I'm not seeing it.
Hurry Up Tomorrow, the new Jenna Ortega movie. And we have a whole bunch of other movies to discuss and a very special interview. You will not believe. I won't announce it until Friday. You better be here. A very special interview Friday. Complete surprise. I can't talk about it.
Yeah, you didn't put it in the doc.
Yes, that's why I don't want it to get out.
Oh man, you won't even tell me.
Yes. Well, there you go. So have a great, thank you so much, everyone in the chat. Thank you to those who send soups in and everyone who just participated. We love hanging out with you. We'll be back on Friday with reviews. Alan, wait,
yes.
One last thing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you to our mods, Lord Thoth and MK Sod. Let me address Final Destination.
And Lori and Glenn.
And Lori, Atomic Lori and Glenn Nuccio. I'll say this about Final Destination. I think I've seen enough of it already.
And I cannot wait to get Alan's
I'm not
opinion.
saying it. Sorry.
I can't wait. Let's
the
chat. Let's let the chat decide. Should Alan see Final Destination? It's practically a comedy. Let's let the chat decide. Y for yes, N for no. So Y, just put the letter Y. Put it in here. Yes, 100%.
There's an N. No, there's a no.
No, there was one N.
And strong Alan. I see
yes,
that one. No,
yes,
from Wim N.
It's a fun
There's a
series.
no there.
No. We will
There's a no. I want Chris to watch it for more
I
chat.
already saw it.
No, there's another
yes.
no.
Yes, it's
Patrick
yes.
Lemire says no.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
Yeah,
I see all
see
yeses.
I see no's.
Lori will count and she will decide. It's pretty. It's 2/3 Y. No, what guys?
No,
what do you?
no.
Come on.
No, it's ADLs. Alan should be spared. Yeah, Patrick has been saying no. I see several no's from Patrick. So there you go.
Film Threat says why.
No,
everyone's
actually,
saying why.
Film Threat says no.
Film Threat says why.
No, it says no.
Yes. Oh
So
my God.
No. With a big
my
no at the
God.
end, in all caps, no.
All right. Well, thank you. Alan will see it and we'll discuss it. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, boy,
It'll
I
be a
hope I
lot
have
of
time
fun.
to. I hope I can fit in my schedule.
All right. Take care, everyone. See you Friday. Alan?
Let's get out of here.